Chapter 477. There is an energy vibration up ahead. It is Morong Qingqing battling with someone else. Hundreds of miles away, Yi Chen's speed suddenly increased as he sensed Morong Qingqing's qi. From afar, Yi Chen could see the sunken ground. Inside the sunken ground, the short elder and the middle-aged man were attacking Morong Qingqing together. Both of them had the power of peak-level soul warriors, but they were still at early Sea of Soul's realm, which was not that powerful. Taking out his destruction sword, Yi Chen threw out a sword attack, the sword qi looking like a rainbow. Who? The short elder reacted very fast, waving his palm to block out the sword qi. But the attacking power still made him back out dozens of steps, wobbling uncontrollably. Shoo! After a couple of flashes, Yi Chen appeared right next to Morong Qingqing. Are you okay? Seeing that Morong Qingqing was badly wounded, Yi Chen frowned. A smile appeared on Morong Qingqing's face as she shook her head. If you were one step too late, I would have been in trouble. Then, she coughed out another mouthful of blood, dyeing her clothes red. Brat, die. The middle-aged man held his blade with both of his hands, waving it down heavily. The blade light covered both of them, planning to kill them all at once. Yi Chen's eyes flashed as both of his swords attacked back and forth. Swoosh! The massive light ball exploded, and the depth of the crater increased from hundreds of meters to thousands of meters, looking like a deep, hemispherical pit. The middle-aged man could not handle the power of Yi Chen's attack, and his whole body was blown away for thousands of meters, cutting off half of a mountain. This brat is tricky. The short elder's pupils shrank. He knew about the middle-aged man's power. Besides some of the freakishly powerful soul warriors, almost no one would be able to compete with him. Plus, the middle-aged man had trained the earth mentality, which was known for its powerful power. Even with that, he could not handle Yi Chen's attack, which showed how hard Yi Chen was to deal with. The middle-aged man flew back, his face a bit pale. He licked his lips as he stared at Yi Chen with a serious and murderous look. The short elder said, "Blade scar, do your best." The knife-scarred man sneered, "Don't worry. He can't hurt me. Try to recover from your injuries first. Leave them to me." Yi Chen could see that Morong Qingqing's injuries were recovering at an extremely fast rate. This kind of recovery speed was very abnormal, but when he thought about the many secrets Morong Qingqing had, the abnormality seemed normal. Morong Qingqing nodded.
All right.
She was clear that if she didn't recover to a certain degree, she would only be a hindrance if she went up. Moreover, she was surprised to find that Yi Chen's strength had reached a whole new level. He was even stronger than when he was in the tea gathering. Kid, you alone aren't enough. The short elder heaved a sigh of relief. If it was one-on-one, he would not have the confidence to defeat Yi Chen. But if it was two-on-one, the difficulty would be reduced by several times. He was afraid that Morong Qingqing would disregard her injured body and join hands with Yi Chen. If that happened, the outcome would be unpredictable. Yi Chen's expression didn't change. "We'll know once we try. Go." Without any nonsense, the short elder and the knife-scarred man attacked Yi Chen from the left and right. One performed a palm art while the other performed a blade art. Their teamwork was perfect.
Ding, ding, dang, dang.
Yi Chen was not afraid at all. He held the thunder sword in his left hand and the destruction sword in his right, splitting his mind and fighting against the two alone. What? Dual sword style. After a round of attacks, the short elder could not help but exclaim in a low voice after seeing that he could not do anything to Yi Chen. Before, when Yi Chen had sent the knife-scarred man flying with his dual swords, he already had some doubts. Now, he was finally sure that Yi Chen was a rare dual sword-style sword artist, able to split his mind and attack with ease. With an ugly expression, the short elder yelled out. Both of his hands turned into ghostly fire claws as he threw out 18 palm strikes. Each palm strike contained a powerful fire mentality, exploding violently. The knife-scarred man did not dare to be careless either. His dirt-yellow heavy blade carried a dense earth mentality as he slashed out diagonally and vertically, each strike fatal. Break! With a thunderous roar, Yi Chen jumped up. The Sky Thundercut and the Reverse Sky Thundercut attacked from the left and right respectively, giving people the feeling that there were two Yi-Chin overlapping on top of each other, which was extremely strange and horrifying.
Pap, pap, pap.
The sound of explosions never stopped. The three separated from each other from time to time and clashed together from time to time. It was a dazzling scene. Get down here. The knife-scarred man suddenly reached out his left hand. A powerful gravity covered Yi-Chin, pulling him down at an extremely fast speed. Gravity. Cut, without any mistakes. A piercing cold light flashed through his eyes as Yi-Chin gave up on the dual sword style and combined three swords into one. One sword contained the destruction sword intent as it sliced out horizontally, forming a perfect circle. A full moon appeared, and the gravity was split in half. The knife-scarred man was shocked. Even gravity can be cut open? Who the fuck can tell me what is going on? What is going on? Idiot! Who told you to use gravity attack? The short elder had made up his mind to use all of his power to exhaust Yi-Chin. He did not believe that Yi-Chin would be able to keep it up. Multitasking was extremely taxing, and it was not just one or two times, but at least a few times. However, seeing the knife-scarred man use gravity attack, and Yi-Chin switched from dual sword style to single sword style, he could not help but grind his teeth in anger. The knife-scarred man said impatiently, "Who the fuck knew that he could cut the gravity? What a freak." Never mind. It is good that he is not multitasking. With just one sword, he would not be our opponent. The short elder did not want to argue with the knife-scarred man, so he took the initiative to back off. Holding the top-rank longsword with three swords combined into one, Yi-Chin threw out a sword attack, performing the 9th movement of the Green Lotus sword art, Amaranthan nature, towards the short elder. Not good. It is a 50% profound sense martial art. Although profound sense martial arts had different levels of power, it was very easy to tell before learning the profound sense, especially when it was at 50%, which was very close to the profound sense. The speed of the sword chi was way too fast, and it was getting faster and faster. It was already impossible to dodge it. The short elder only had time to set up a defensive layer in front of him.
Pooh.
The defensive layer was shattered, and the short elder's shoulder was bleeding profusely. Piss off. The knife-scarred man's attack had arrived. The 100-meter-long blade chi was like a falling jade pillar, slashing towards Yi-Chin's head. Shoo! Sparks were brought up as Yi-Chin waved his sword to block out the blade chi. I want you dead. Seizing the opportunity, the short elder did not care about the sword wound on his shoulder anymore. He grabbed the air with his right hand, and a huge flame hand was about to wrap around Yi-Chin. Shoo! 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 Even more sparks were brought up. Yi-Chin put more power into his arm, and the long sword and the blade chi brushed past each other. He then immediately cut open the huge flame hand and jumped out from the gap. All of this happened in the blink of an eye. It was so fast that it was beyond the limits of one's vision. The blade chi dimmed a little, and the knife-scarred man's blade momentum changed from a vertical chop to a horizontal chop. The blade chi followed closely behind Yi-Chin, trying to cut him in half.
Bang.
For no reason, the blade chi was shattered. Murong Qingcheng, whose clothes were stained with blood, dashed over. Soul destruction wave. The black light ball in her left hand exploded, and a fan-shaped black shock wave spread out. Oh no! The short elder and the knife-scarred man dodged to the side at the same time. Although this black shock wave could not do anything to them, their minds would be muddled for a moment. If it were before, they would not care about it. But now, they had to deal with an extremely troublesome Yi-Chin. The short elder dodged the radiation of the shock wave, but because the knife-scarred man's blade chi and blood were shaken, his reaction was a little slower. When Murong Qingcheng came over, Yi-Chen's mind was sharp, and he quickly approached the two of them. Therefore, the knife-scarred man's momentary sluggishness did not escape Yi-Chen's senses. He stabbed out with his top-grade longsword.
Dang.
That moment was too short. The knife-scarred man raised his blade to block the attack at the critical moment. His right hand that was holding the blade cracked, and blood flowed out of his 7 orifices. Reverse Sky Thundercut. In the eyes of others, Yi Chen's sword art was unpredictable, and it was not without reason. He held the scabbard at his waist with his left hand and slashed upwards. Scabbard. The knife-scarred man's face flashed with disbelief.
Uft.
The scabbard hit the knife-scarred man's chin, and the force went in. Knife scar. The short elder dodged the black shockwave, and he saw Yi Chen hit the knife-scarred man's chin with the scabbard. Then, he saw the life force in the knife-scarred man's eyes disappear, and he fell from the sky. Gritting his teeth, the short elder looked at Yi Chen and Murong Qingcheng with hatred, and turned into a stream of ghostly light. Sky Demon Power Field. Murong Qingcheng's right hand reached out and pulled back, and a horrifying gravitational force appeared, pulling the short elder's body. However, Murong Qingcheng's Jinyuan was far from the short elder's, and she could only slow him down a little, but it was enough. Turning around, Yi Chen flicked his finger at the short elder. It was the Lotus Heart Sword Qi that could recover once every half an hour.
Pooh.
The short elder's heart was pierced through, and he died immediately. Seeing the short elder die, Murong Qingcheng let out a sigh of relief. It had been too short, and her injuries had not fully recovered yet. She had just barely managed to do that. Putting the long sword back into the scabbard, Yi Chen flew over, frowned, and said in a low voice, "Murong, are you one of the demons?" It was no wonder that he asked this. When fighting with the short elder and the knife-scarred man, he had noticed that Murong Qingcheng used crystals to recover her injuries, and those crystals were not spirit crystals, but demon crystals, which made him suspicious. Murong Qingcheng seemed to know that Yi Chen would ask this. "You saw it." Yi Chen nodded. "If I said I'm not, would you believe me?" Yi Chen thought about it. "Of course I would." "Thank you. I am indeed not one of the demons, but I am related to the demons." Murong Qingcheng said, "You are related to the demons?" Yi Chen was even more confused. Among the information that the Battle King had given him, there was nothing about the demons, so he knew nothing about them. Murong Qingcheng continued to say, "The demon race is a race that is above the human race." However, after the ancient times, there were no traces of the demon race anymore. But the demon race left behind a race with their bloodline. This race, I am the family that I belong to, and I have the bloodline of this family. Thinking about how low-key Murong Qingcheng used to be, Yi Chen said, "If this is a big deal, you should not say it." "I will understand." "Actually, it is okay to say it. Those life and death realm warriors all know about my family, and half of them are not against us living in this land. Of course, the other half wants to kill my family, and they're just waiting for the right opportunity." Murong Qingcheng laughed at herself. "My family is called the Demi-Demon family, and all of my family members have the Demi-Demon bloodline. Chapter 478. The Human Demon Bloodline is a hybrid bloodline of humans and demons. It has the appearance of humans and a physique close to that of demons. As for whether it is suitable to cultivate Jinyuan or demon power, it depends on which bloodline is more suitable. If there is more human bloodline, then it is suitable to cultivate Jinyuan. If there is more demons, then it is suitable to cultivate demon power. If there is the same amount, then both can be cultivated. This is the so-called perfect human-demon bloodline. Murong Qingcheng explained. Yi Chen pondered and said, "Why didn't I feel anything strange about you before? It seems that after meeting you in the land of extreme negative energy, you have changed." Nodding, Murong Qingcheng said, "The first generation of human demons all had the perfect human-demon bloodline. However, with the disappearance of demons, the passage of time, and the intermarriage between human demons and human demons caused the demon's bloodline in the next generation to become less and less. Instead, there is more and more human demons' bloodline. So much so that without a secret test, it is impossible to tell whether there is demon's bloodline or not. And the lack of demon's bloodline makes our people almost no different from human demons, unless we can awaken and stimulate the demon's bloodline in our body." "Then you awakened. What's the deal with refining demonic energy crystal stones?" "Yes." Murong Qingcheng let out a breath. "In order to prevent the demon's bloodline from becoming less and less, our people adopted the rule of intermarriage within the race. Human demons must marry human demons. In this way, if the children inherit most of the demon's bloodline from their parents, the demon's bloodline in their body will be stronger than the previous generation. Of course, no matter how strong it is, it will not be more than half. Approaching half is already very rare. After I awakened, the demon's bloodline in my body is approaching half. The planar battlefield is an opportunity, allowing my demon's bloodline to reach half, and I have the perfect human-demon bloodline. Therefore, whether it is spirit energy crystal stones or demonic energy crystal stones, I can refine and absorb them, and I chose demonic energy crystal stones. Listening to Morong Qingqing's words, Yichen expressed his understanding. Whether it was demons or human race, they respected the strong. No one didn't want to be stronger. Obviously, demons were a race above human race. It was normal for them to choose to refine demonic energy crystal stones. If it was him, he would do the same. Refining demonic energy crystal stones won't make me develop into demons, right? Yichen saw demons' bloodline at least 3 meters tall, and most of them were tens or even hundreds of meters tall. He didn't want Morong Qingqing. Morong Qingqing smiled and said, "The human demon bloodline is the human demon bloodline. The appearance of a human won't change, but refining the demonic energy stone will give me some of the abilities of the demons. I'll have to wait until I cultivate my demon body to know about this ability." Yichen had no intention of getting to the bottom of the matter, such as how Morong Qingqing came to possess the perfect demonic bloodline. The fact that Morong Qingqing was willing to tell him these things showed that she trusted him. Yichen opened his palm, and a dozen magical energy stones appeared in his hand. "I have no use for these. Here. This is for you too." Morong Qingqing took out all the psionic crystals. The two of them smiled at each other and exchanged glances. "When I'm with you, I feel very relaxed." Unfortunately, Morong Qingqing wanted to say something, but stopped. Yichen sighed inwardly. "Let's talk about the future in the future. The most important thing is to grasp the present. You know that strength is the shortcut to controlling your own destiny." Yes, you're right. The two of them did not stay for long. After leaving the hollow, they found a relatively hidden mountain peak and opened up 2 adjacent caves. Then, they began to refine the psionic crystals and magical energy stones. 1 day passed. Yichen's spiritual body was roughly halfway completed. Before he achieved the spiritual body, the efficiency of the psionic crystals would decrease the further he cultivated. Once he achieved the spiritual body, the effectiveness of the psionic crystals would increase again. This was related to his physique, which he did not have at the moment. As for Morong Qingqing, she did not have this problem. She had the demonic bloodline, and her physique was that of a demonic physique, which was several times stronger than a normal human's physique. However, it was also because of this that the magical energy stones she needed were several times more than a human's. So far, she had only cultivated a quarter of her demonic body. Morong Qingqing, who had cultivated a quarter of her demonic body, did not seem to have changed much. Only Yichen could see that her temperament was becoming more and more noble and alluring. Her skin had also become fairer, and it was hard to find any flaws with the naked eye. After refining the psionic crystals and mana crystals, the two of them spent an extra day consolidating the mana crystals to prevent unnecessary wastage. On this day, Morong Qingqing opened her eyes. A black light flashed in her pupils. She looked down and saw that she had not changed out of her blood-stained clothes. She stood up and walked to the cave wall in the corner. She pressed her palm on it. Without a sound, the mountain rock in front of her palm turned into powder, and a spherical stone room appeared. Walking into the stone room, a black ball of light naturally appeared outside her body. The black ball of light could even swallow light, and it was impossible to see through it. Her clothes fell off, and Morong Qingqing's tall and perfect body was exposed. Her black hair was like a waterfall, covering her full breasts. Her slender and smooth waist was so slim that it could be held in one hand, and when it reached the bottom, it rapidly expanded. Her snow-white and delicate skin could almost drive any man or woman crazy. Her legs were straight and took up 2/3 of her body, and they were tightly closed together. After changing into a clean purple dress, she walked out of the stone room. In her sight, Yichen was still refining the psionic energy. His eyes were closed, and his back was straight like a sharp sword. His shoulders were wide, and his waist was slim. 3 years. I only have 3 years left of the time my family gave me. Biting her lower lip, Murom Qingqing's eyes flashed with a complicated look. Phew! A slightly dark red aura was spat out, piercing through the mountain rock in front of him. Yichen slowly opened his eyes, turned his head, and made eye contact with Murom Qingqing. There was a moment of hesitation and warmth between the two of them. Shaking off the non-existent dust on his body, Yichen stood up and said, "You didn't wait long, right?"
No.
Murom Qingqing shook her head. "Then let's go out." Yichen suddenly pulled out the long sword at his waist, and with one slash, he broke the mountain. The mountain was split open, and the light of the dimensional battlefield shone in, covering the two of them. On the 7th day of the dimensional battlefield's opening, the outside world finally became restless. Crack! The space shattered, and a middle-aged man in a dark red robe did not say anything. He waved his hand, and the extreme rank axe that was in the abyss flew out. "It is the leader. The leader is here. The extreme rank axe belongs to him." All of the masters of the Shining Martial School were overjoyed. The extreme rank weapons were 100 times more precious than the top rank ones. Any life and death realm warrior would be able to increase their battling power drastically if they had it. Meanwhile, people from the other rank 5 martial institutions frowned, feeling anxious. Shining King, what are you worrying about? The extreme rank axe is not something you can have. A sky-covering huge hand appeared out of nowhere, covering the axe. The Shining King was furious. "Beast King, how dare you?" As he spoke, he waved his arm, and a misty light cut off 3 fingers of the huge hand, pulling the axe out from the gap.
Ha!
Why would I not dare? The powerful Beast King tore open the surreal space as a godly light shot out from his eyes, shattering the light with one punch. At the same time, the hill-sized extreme rank axe lost its control and stabbed into the ground, shaking the whole place. The shockwaves spread out in all directions. "It is our leader. Our leader is here as well."
Ha!
This time, it was the Beast School's turn to be excited. "You!" The Shining King also shot out a godly light from his eyes as he stared at the Beast King. The two's eyes were not normal at all. All that could be seen was the sound of thunder exploding in the clear sky. The sky suddenly darkened, and the bright light was like a star exploding. Everyone felt like they had arrived in the starry sky and could not see anything at all. There was only light and 2 godlike king warriors. This is so scary. Is that the ground under my feet? How come I cannot feel the gravity and the density of the earth? All of the warriors with cultivation lower than the Sea of Souls realm felt their legs shaking. They looked down, but they could not see the ground at all. It was pitch black and unfathomable. One of the master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors mumbled to himself, "The battle between the king warriors has already surpassed the normal battles. It is their wills that are messing with our judgment. Do not try to break through their wills. Otherwise, the attacking power will be enough to kill you." The Shining King's eyes were filled with anger that could burn through the earth. "Beast King, do you really want to compete with me? Don't forget that I was here first." "So, what if you were here first? The extreme rank great weapon is hard to come by. I, the Beast King, will not let it go." The Beast King and the Shining King's bodies were both covered in the light, making it hard to see their faces clearly. Even their words carried a powerful willpower that could make any Sea of Souls realm warrior lose their mind.
Boom.
Just as the two were confronting each other, a wave of thunder descended from the pitch-black sky. The thunder did not disappear, shattering part of the light. A city-sized palm reached down at an extreme speed. The patterns on the palm were clear, and the nails were like blades, filled with sharp electric arcs. Black Thunder King. The Shining King and the Beast King attacked at the same time, shattering that huge hand.
Pap.
A blurry human figure landed on the ground, and a voice was heard, Shining King, Beast King, this extreme rank weapon belongs to me, the Black Thunder King. It is the closest to our Thunder City. It is the king of our Thunder Empire. All of the powerful warriors in the Thunder City were extremely excited. The Black Thunder King was indeed the blood uncle of the current emperor of the Thunder Empire, who was also one of Jing Aoshuan's great-grandfathers. It was because of him that the Thunder Empire could dominate the Thunder region, becoming the #1 country and the #1 power. The Shining King sneered, "Do not talk to me about being the closest to the Thunder City. As long as it is in the Thunder region, I, the Shining King, will have the right to have a share." Hehe. The Shining King has said what I said. Although the Beast King was afraid of the Black Thunder King, he was not afraid of him. Plus, it was a three-way battle, and none of them had the power to fight against two at the same time. Some of the warriors who had arrived on the 7th day because of something else were shocked. 3 king warriors. 3 king warriors had appeared at the same time. What kind of joke was this? Also, the battle of their wills was way too horrifying. They were hundreds of miles away from the battle site, but they were still covered by the darkness. Looking back, they could not see anything, only darkness. Even their mind power and soul power could not penetrate through the darkness, which made them very nervous. Chapter 479. You must be joking. The Thunder region is so huge. If you want a share of everything that lands in here, then no one would be able to get anything. If you have a solution, then I would love to hear it. The Black Thunder King did not try to pressure the two, so he threw the problem to the Shining King and the Beast King. The Shining King said, "This axe is mine, and I can compensate you with other things."
Ha!
The Black Thunder King sneered and said to the Beast King, "Beast King, do you agree?" "Of course not. I know that you have a lot of good things, but I do not want them. On the other hand, I can compensate for your loss. I will take the axe." The Beast King liked heavy weapons the most, and the axe would be perfect for him. So, there was no way he would agree with the Shining King's solution. The Shining King said angrily, "Then what do you think we should do?" The Black Thunder King said, "Beast King, you have trained the earth element Jin Yuan. I have 2 earth yuan crystals that I got from the sealed dust star. They should be enough to increase your cultivation by 40 years. 40 years of cultivation is not a small amount. Right now, your cultivation should be no more than 300 years, right?"
What?
"You have 2 earth yuan crystals?" The Beast King was shocked. The cultivation of a life and death realm warrior would start from the life and death realm. Normally, when one had just reached the life and death realm, their cultivation would not be more than 100 years. Even Xianhou had only had 80 to 90 years of cultivation. When the Beast King reached the life and death realm, his cultivation was even lower, only 30 years. He had trained for 220 years and had also found some treasures that could increase his cultivation, so he only had about 290 years of cultivation. Therefore, 40 years of cultivation was indeed not a small amount. It would be enough for his battling power to increase a lot. Although it would not be as powerful as the extreme rank axe, if he tried to fight for it, he would not have more than 30% chance of getting it. "What do you think?" The Black Thunder King was confident. The Beast King laughed. "Black Thunder King, it would be useless to take care of me. Even if I quit, there is still the Shining King for you to take care of." The Black Thunder King shook his head. "You do not need to worry about this. As long as you promise not to get involved, these 2 earth yuan crystals will be yours. I was planning to exchange them with the other kings anyway. There are a few king warriors who train the earth element in this true spirit continent." The Beast King took a deep breath and laughed. "All right, I promise you. The axe belongs to you too. I won't participate." "Great. Here you go." The Black Thunder King waved his hand and threw out 2 crystal stones that were shining with a muddy yellow halo. Reaching out to catch the Earth Yuan crystal, the Beast King examined it carefully. It was indeed an Earth Yuan crystal. He grinned and said, "Aren't you afraid that I will go back on my word? I believe you would not do that. Plus, I, the Black Thunder King, am not that easy to fool. Hatred rarely appeared between king warriors, and once it did, it would be a fight to the death. Therefore, the Black Thunder King did not think that the Beast King was ready to fight to the death with him. You have won. How could I, the Beast King, go back on my word? The Beast King glanced at the axe with pity, then waved his hand. All of the people from the Imperial Beast Martial School were covered in a yellow halo, backing out hundreds of miles with him. Meanwhile, he himself sat in the midair, not planning to leave yet. The Black Thunder King did not care about the Beast King's attitude. He turned his head and looked at the Shining King. Shining King, why don't you back off now? Black Thunder King, don't push it. The Shining King froze for a second, then became enraged. The Black Thunder King had sent away the Beast King, but did not plan to compensate him. Although he had already prepared himself to not accept the compensation, he could not accept the Black Thunder King's attitude of ignoring him. A king warrior's dignity could not be challenged, even if the other party was also a king warrior.
Damn.
This Black Thunder King is so evil. Luckily, he chose me first. The Beast King made a face. The Black Thunder King's power was way more powerful than any of them. Without him, the Shining King would obviously not be his opponent, and without the Shining King, he would not be his opponent either. If the Black Thunder King had chosen the Shining King first, then he would not be able to get any compensation, nor would he be able to get the axe. The people from the Shining Martial School were also feeling humiliated. However, the king warrior's dignity was not something they could judge, so no one dared to show their anger. The Black Thunder King sneered, I have pushed it too far. Last time, you and the Blue King had tricked me, and I have not gotten even with you yet. Today I will take care of both the old and the new. The thing that I want, you will not be able to stop it. The Shining King did not say another word as his body turned into a beam of light, shooting toward the axe. Both of his eyes shot out beams of thunder. The Black Thunder King threw out a palm attack, breaking the beam of light and knocking the axe into the air. He then reached out his left hand, trying to grab it. Shoo! The beam of light flashed again as the Shining King's hand attack shattered the Jinyuan and will of the Black Thunder King on the axe. The two continued to fight around the axe. The surreal space was like a broken mirror, cracking and making a loud noise. Extreme Emperor Shocking Fist Art. Up in the sky, the Black Thunder King's roar was like a world-destroying thunder. He performed an attack that Jing Aoshuan had used before. However, when it landed in the hands of the Black Thunder King, its power had increased by hundreds or even thousands of times. The surreal space had been pierced through, causing space fragments to tumble everywhere. Just a low-rank, profound martial art. Break. Light of the Shining King. The Shining King's body was like a small red sun, exploding with an endless light. The light immediately destroyed the fist power of the Black Thunder King and covered him within. Stupid. The Extreme Emperor Shocking Fist art is only used to exhaust your ace attack. 5. Thunderprint. The Black Thunder King reached out his left hand that was behind his back. He opened his 5 fingers, each of them shooting out a dark blue light print. Wherever the light print reached, the light disappeared. You are the stupid one. My Light of the Shining King does not only have martial power, but also speed. The extreme rank axe is mine now. The Shining King traveled through the light that had not disappeared yet. His speed was extremely fast, as if he was the light, and the light was him. If I say that you are stupid, then you are. 5. Thunderprint. Seal.
Pap.
In front of the Shining King, the 5 light prints suddenly stopped, forming a sealed area filled with thunder and lightning, blocking his way out. Anger flashed through the Shining King's eyes as he waved his hand in the air. A huge black hole appeared in the surreal space, and his whole body jumped in. However, in the deepest part of the surreal space, there were also thunder and lightning. Of course, it was much weaker than the outside world, and could not threaten him at all. Just as he was about to appear in the surreal space near the axe, a huge hand pushed him in again. Black Thunder King, you bastard. Don't think that you can get it so easily. Swoosh. The light formed into a chain and dragged the axe in.
All right.
This time, I will beat you until you are scared. The Black Thunder King stepped out and entered the deepest part of the surreal space. When the two of them disappeared, the world returned to normal. Warm sunlight shone down, and the surroundings were in a mess. There were some places where the Earth's crust had been pierced through, and surging magma continuously splashed out. It was bright red and incomparably hot, and it was a shocking sight.
Close.
The Beast King landed on the lava, and the brown light around his body suddenly expanded. The cracks on the ground closed up quickly, and the broken crust started to recover at a shocking speed. He then said without turning his head, "You guys do what you need to do. I will go check it out." After saying that, he jumped into the deepest part of the surreal space. After the three king warriors had left, the rest of the people looked at each other. So horrifying. This is the battle of the king warriors. It is so destructive that even the Earth's crust has been punctured. None of their attacks landed on the ground. They were all caused by the aftershocks. If they had attacked directly, I wonder what would have happened. What should we do next? Enter the parallel space, of course. There are fewer and fewer king warriors' corpses in the parallel space battlefield. It seems like the area where we came in has the most. Plus, some of the king warriors' corpses don't even have spirit stones in them. The broken corpses were endless. Yi Chun and Morong Qingcheng were standing on a dark red plateau with a black aura above their heads. Morong Qingcheng said, "It is not bad. This parallel space battlefield's environment is special, and even the corpses have been preserved. Otherwise, after hundreds of thousands of years, there would not be anything left."
Boom.
While the two were talking, the surreal space in front of them was filled with thunder and light.
Huh?
There are thunder and dazzling light in this parallel space battlefield? Yichen looked surprised. A black light flashed in Morong Qingcheng's eyes as she shook her head and said, "No, that surreal space is about to shatter. Someone is fighting." Who could have such a huge battle?
Boom.
Just as Yichen finished his sentence, the surreal space twisted and shattered. Two human figures jumped into the parallel space battlefield. One of them was wrapped in endless thunder and lightning, while the other looked like a small dark red sun. Soon, a powerful willpower covered them, making them lose their sense of the environment. Not good. It is two life and death realm warriors. The two gasped and backed out at the same time. However, no matter how hard they tried, they could not get out of the dark environment. It seemed like they were in a starry sky. Crack. The hill-sized axe followed the two into the parallel space battlefield, stabbing into the ground. Shining King, you are not their opponent. It is not too late to give up now. Otherwise, your yuan qi will be severely damaged, and your cultivation will decrease drastically. The Black Thunder King scanned around, and was slightly surprised. It was a parallel space battlefield, which was extremely hard to find. It must be because of the fact that the parallel space had opened automatically, which was why they were able to come in through the surreal space. Otherwise, they would not be able to do this. Taking a deep breath, the Black Thunder King looked back at the Shining King and said seriously. The Shining King came back to his senses and sneered, "Black Thunder King, who are you trying to scare? This time, even if it costs me a lot of my yuan qi, I will take this axe. Don't even think about it. Since you do not want to do it the hard way, then don't blame me for being cruel." 5. Thunderprint. Explode. The Black Thunder King opened both of his fingers, and 10 dark blue light prints shot out, exploding in the air and blowing the Shining King hundreds of miles away.
Woo, woo, woo.
It was unknown if it was because the battle between the two was too loud, but the black qi in the sky started to become chaotic. It started to converge at a certain point, forming a black funnel that connected the sky and the ground. The funnel continued to spin, shooting out black lightning bolts, while the black light inside was almost solid. What is going on? The Black Thunder King stopped fighting and turned his head to look at the black funnel. The Shining King also took back his angry eyes, looking confused. The surreal space had been shattered, and the Beast King walked in. Seeing that the two had stopped fighting, he was curious. Only when he saw the black funnel did he realize what was going on.
Crack.
Below the dark funnel, the ground suddenly exploded, and a giant hand covered in scales and sharp nails broke out of the ground. This demon claw was way too big. It was more than 100 meters tall, and every finger was like a jade pillar that supported the sky, surrounded by black arcs of light. Chapter 480. The moment the demonic claw stretched out, a terrifying and evil aura that could destroy one's soul spread out. The corpses and bones in the surroundings exploded into powder. The mountain couldn't withstand the pressure of the aura and turned into ashes, dispersing all of a sudden. This chi was so powerful that it seemed to be boundless. What? The chi of an ancient demon king. The Black Demon King was shocked. As a life and death realm warrior, he needed to know about the demons that were even more powerful than the humans in the ancient times. This demon claw was not a beast's claw, but a demon's claw, which was a branch of the demons. They were known for their huge bodies, and correspondingly, the demon power inside their bodies was also proportional to their body size. At their peak, any ancient demon king's demon power would be hundreds or even thousands of times more than life and death realm warriors of the same level. Although the ancient demon kings did not train martial arts, could not understand the profound, and did not have a powerful willpower, and could only fight with their bodies and demon power, in a one-on-one battle, or even 10-on-1 battle, the one who would die would be the human, not the ancient demon king. If it were not for the fact that there were too many humans and demons, the ones who would lose in the ancient times would not be the demons but the humans. What is this? Hundreds of miles away, Yichen could clearly see the 100-meter-tall demon claw and feel the horrifying chi coming from it. He suspected that if he did not have the master-level sword intent, his soul would be destroyed immediately. Murong Qingqing took a deep breath and said with a serious tone, "It is an ancient demon, a branch of the demons. I did not expect it to be sealed in the parallel space battlefield for hundreds of thousands of years." Ancient demon? Didn't they say that life and death realm warriors could only live for 1,000 years? No matter how long the demons could live, they should not be able to live for hundreds of thousands of years, right? Yichen was confused. Demons live 10 times longer than humans, so the demon kings can live for 10,000 years. But the ancient demon kings with low intelligence can live even longer than the ancient demon kings. Some can live for 30,000 years, and some can live for 50,000 years. Normally, after hundreds of thousands of years, any ancient demon king would die of old age. But the sealing power has weakened the effect of time. So hundreds of thousands of years might only be tens of thousands of years for this ancient demon king. Murong Qingqing knew demons very well, so she explained everything to him. A look of shock appeared on Yi Chen's face, but after thinking about it, he realized that something was wrong, so he continued, "The power of sealing can weaken the power of time." Doesn't that mean that human kings can seal themselves and live for thousands of years? Murong Qingqing shook her head. Besides weakening the power of time, the sealing power will also weaken the target's cultivation. If a human king is sealed for thousands of years, no, just a few hundred years, their cultivation will definitely weaken until they die. Only a demon king can survive, because a demon king's demonic power is hundreds or even thousands of times more than a human king's. In ancient times, the final victory of the human race was due to their control of the sealing power. I see. It was Yi Chen's first time learning high-level information about demons. We are in trouble. There is an ancient demon king sealed here, and after hundreds of thousands of years, the seal should have been loosened a long time ago. The Beast King forced a laugh, then suddenly thought of something. Could it be that he threw out that extreme rank axe on purpose to attract the life and death realm warriors? The shockwaves from the battle between life and death realm warriors would weaken the power of the seal, which would allow him to get out more easily without using up a lot of demonic power. In his sight, one of the Demon King's arms had already reached out, which was thousands of meters long. The Black Thunder King said with a low voice, "The loosening of the seal power allowed the Demon King's demonic power to tear open the space through the crack of the seal and throw out an extreme rank weapon. Then he created a space door and attracted a lot of people in. That black chi had swallowed a lot of people's blood and flesh essence, which replenished the Demon King's body and helped him regain some of his vitality. The Beast King said strangely, "Are the demons this smart? Although the demons have low intelligence, it does not mean that they do not have it. This kind of attack is very normal. Unfortunately, we did not know that there was an ancient Demon King sealed here. Let's cut the crap and start the battle." This Demon King has been tortured by the seal power for hundreds of thousands of years, so its demonic power must have been damaged. We cannot let him out no matter what. Otherwise, once he swallows enough blood and flesh essence, his demonic power will recover completely. The Black Thunder King did not care about the axe anymore, as he suggested. Yeah, the demons are different from humans. They can recover by swallowing the blood and flesh essence of living beings. Shining King, now is not the time to be angry. You know the rules of the human race. The Beast King glanced at the Shining King. The Shining King said with a cold voice, "I do not need your reminder. I know what to do."
Boom, boom, boom.
The three of them were all life and death realm warriors, and their combined attacks had shattered the space around them, landing on the Demon King's arm. All of a sudden, that thousands of meters long arm started to shake. Pieces of flesh disappeared one after another, as if it had been bitten by a giant. Roar! The ground cracked open, and the roar of the ancient Demon King came out of the ground. One could see with naked eyes that the flesh on the broken arm started to move and recover quickly. In the next second, the wounded area was as good as new. However, the chi of the ancient Demon King had weakened a bit, which meant that his yuan chi had been damaged. 5 Thunderprint. Explode. The Black Thunder King's attack was the most powerful. His 2 hands shot out 10 dark blue light prints, exploding on the shoulder of the ancient Demon King, bringing up a lot of dust. The Shining King did not want to be outdone either, as he continued to attack the ancient Demon King's arm with his shining light. A sizzling sound could be heard without an end. The Beast King's attacks were extremely powerful as he continued to attack the ancient Demon King's arm. Even the bones there had been broken.
Dong.
All of a sudden, the head of the ancient Demon King popped out of the ground. The skull that was covered in bone pieces locked onto the Black Thunder King, who was the most powerful of them all. It then shot out a beam of black light wave, which was way too fast and too sudden. Even the Black Thunder King did not manage to dodge it in time, and was scratched by it. Half of his body was covered in blood, and his bones were all over the place. The Black Thunder King gasped as he cursed with a low voice, "Damn it. This one attack has cost me at least half a year of cultivation." Once one reached the life and death realm, their Zhenyuan and flesh would merge into one. Therefore, it would take a lot of Zhenyuan to recover. The more serious the injury, the more Zhenyuan it would take. And the life and death realm warriors' Zhenyuan cultivation was way too horrifying, so it would take a long time to recover. Half a year of cultivation would take the Black Thunder King a week to recover. Of course, if he had some rare treasures, it would be different. While they were talking, the wound on the Black Thunder King's body started to heal quickly. There was not a single flaw on his body, as if he had never been wounded before. What a horrifying healing power. Whether it was the ancient Demon King or the Black Thunder King, their healing power was unbelievably powerful. If it were Yi Chun with this kind of injury, he would have been on the verge of death already, unless he could train his undying body to the first level. In that case, perhaps he would feel better. Demon, eat my hammer. The Beast King's hammer weapon was a semi-extreme rank 1. The hammer light spun around before landing on the ancient Demon King's head.
Chin.
Sparks flew everywhere as the ancient Demon King broke off one of his horns. The burning sparks had even burned through the ground. The lower part of the ancient Demon King's body could be seen clearly, as well as the 6-star sealing spell that had wrapped around his body. A gap had appeared on the spell, and the ancient Demon King had indeed climbed out from it. Chapter 481. The ancient Demon King felt the pain, so his other arm reached out of the ground and slapped the Beast King thousands of miles away. That black light had sliced through the Beast King's protective Zhenyuan layer and left a serious wound on his left rib and chest, shattering all of his bones. Shining King, what are you waiting for? Otherwise, I will lose my 3 years of cultivation. The Beast King showed his teeth, using his Jin Yuan to heal his wounds as he yelled at the Shining King. Shining Blade. The Shining King's whole body was wrapped up by the dark red light, which shrunk and turned into the shape of a blade, piercing through the ancient Demon King's neck.
Swoosh.
Demon blood spilled everywhere as the ancient Demon King held onto his neck and groaned. 5. Thunderprint.
Seal.
No one knew when, but the Black Thunder King had already arrived above the ancient Demon King. He opened his 5 fingers and pressed down in the air. All of a sudden, 5 dark blue light prints appeared around the ancient Demon King's head. The rolling thunder tornado continued to eat away at his demon power and physical body, leaving him no time to fight back. After being in so much pain for so long, the ancient Demon King had completely lost his mind. Both of his hands pressed on the ground as his mountain-like muscles swelled up. His body suddenly jumped out of the ground and escaped from the seal.
Boom.
As soon as the ancient Demon King got out of the seal, the dark funnel turned into a shuttle and merged with his body, increasing his demon power drastically and increasing his battling power to another level. With a loud noise, the thunder tornado was torn apart, and the Black Thunder King backed out. The ancient Demon King turned his head and suddenly reached out his palm, trying to grab the Shining King, who was flying at an extremely fast speed. The Shining King was shocked, so he quickly jumped into the surreal space. However, the ancient Demon King's palm was like a Buddha's 5-finger mountain. It followed him into the surreal space and grabbed onto the Shining King. No, the Shining King was extremely frightened. He had not trained to the level of flesh and blood regeneration yet, so he would not be afraid of king warriors at the same level or even one level higher than him. However, this ancient Demon King was from the ancient era, where king warriors were everywhere. Their battling power was unbelievably powerful. Plus, the ancient Demon King was already dozens of times more powerful than human king warriors. Even if his cultivation had been damaged to the point where it was not even 1/10 of his peak, it would still be able to threaten his life. The eyes of the Black Thunder King flickered. In fact, he did not care about the life and death of the Shining King at all, since it was none of his business. However, the human race had their own rules. When encountering the demons, they had to work together. Whoever did not do their best would be punished. Not to mention the Black Thunder King, even the Supreme Su King would not dare to violate it. Whoever violated it would be going against the entire human race, and their death would not be worth it. Plus, the ancient Demon King's power had been greatly damaged. Once he devoured the Shining King's flesh and blood essence, his power would become even more horrifying. And, looking at the extreme rank axe not far away, the Black Thunder King made a grabbing motion, and the axe flew into his hand. Break it. The soul mark in the axe had already disappeared with the passage of time, so the Black Thunder King did not have to spend much effort to leave his own mark on it. Holding the axe in his hand, the Black Thunder King yelled and threw out an axe attack onto the demonic arm that was grabbing the Shining King. Crack! The 1,000-meter-long arm of the Shining King was cut off immediately. Demon blood poured out like a flood, pouring down and shattering mountains one after another.
What?
The damage the axe had dealt to the Demon King was too great. Regrowing a broken limb was indeed the realm of immortality, but regrowing a broken limb consumed a lot of demonic power. No one wanted to regrow a broken limb every day. If that happened, it wouldn't be long before their cultivation would be exhausted, and they would become extremely weak. Having escaped from death, the Shining King was still scared. But, seeing the extreme rank axe in the Black Thunder King's hand, his face did not look good again. His power was not as powerful as the Black Thunder King before, and now that the latter had that axe, he would not be able to compete with him at all. Therefore, he could only suffer in silence. Die.
Die. Die.
After being sealed for hundreds of thousands of years, the ancient Demon King's mind was very unstable. He kept mumbling the word die as his remaining arm formed a fist and threw out a punch toward the Black Thunder King. The Black Thunder King held the axe with both of his hands, trying his best to defend. The next second, an earth-shaking sound was heard as a huge hole appeared in the space between the two. The Black Thunder King dragged his axe and was blown thousands of miles away. Shining King, you also have a semi-extreme rank weapon. Don't hide it anymore. Take it out for the ancient Demon King. The Beast King did not dare to move alone, so he said to the Shining King. The Shining King had a dark look on his face as a 7-meter-long iron feather wing appeared on his back. The chi coming from it was different from normal semi-extreme rank weapons, but it was actually a part of an extreme rank weapon. It could increase his speed to another level. Before, he thought that he was fast enough, so he did not take it out. But now, he did not think so anymore. Shoo! With the help of the iron feather wing, the Shining King's body started to move, as if he did not exist in this world at all, which drove the ancient Demon King crazy. Beast King, let's go. The Black Thunder King and the Beast King stood side by side. All right. Seeing the Black Thunder King holding the extreme rank axe, the Beast King did not feel unhappy at all. He had at least gotten 2 Earth Yuan crystals, while the Shining King had gotten nothing. All of a sudden, the two attacked toward the ancient Demon King from the left and right. Legendary cut. The Beast King's hammer attack was extremely powerful, as if there were dozens of mountains compressed inside the small hammer. That one attack was enough to make the ancient Demon King dizzy and bleed out. 5 Thunder Cut. 5 light prints accumulated on the edge of the axe as the Black Thunder King roared. He threw out a blow and broke open the ancient Demon King's neck. The aggressive thunder even drilled into the ancient Demon King's body, continuing to destroy its body and demon power. Its killing power was unimaginably powerful.
Dong.
The ground started to shake, and mud waves shot up into the sky. The ancient Demon King did not want to waste its demon power to heal its wound and its missing right arm. With its huge size, it stomped on the ground and broke through the siege, rushing toward the unknown entrance. It was not stupid, and it knew that it would die even worse if it went deeper into the surreal space. Only in the human world would there be enough creatures for it to devour. Don't let it get away. The extreme rank axe in the Black Thunder King's hand enlarged and landed heavily on the ancient Demon King's right foot. The ancient Demon King did not have time to react, and its body fell onto the ground, creating a huge demon-shaped pit that was hundreds of meters deep. This is the battle between king warriors. It is indeed hard to kill. Watching all of this, Yichen could not help but sigh. Below the life and death realm, no one dared to get wounded too badly. If the wound was too serious, it would mean a drop in their battling power and life force. With just a little bit of carelessness, they would die and cease to exist. However, the battle between king warriors was a long-lasting battle. When the power gap was not that big, it would be extremely hard to kill the other in a short period of time. After all, with the immortal body, one would be able to maintain their peak condition at all times and would only lose a little bit of cultivation. Of course, losing too much cultivation would be a bad thing. Therefore, the ancient Demon King had to run.
Die.
The Beast King was not afraid of the ancient Demon King anymore. It seemed like the hundreds of thousands of years of being sealed had not only taken out most of the ancient Demon King's demon power, but it had also lowered his defense to the lowest point. It should be known that the physical defense of the ancient Demon King was just as horrifying, way more powerful than humans.
Boom.
The ancient Demon King's head was smashed deep into the ground, demon blood spilling everywhere. The Shining King seized the opportunity and sliced through the remaining left arm of the ancient Demon King, cutting off the entire massive arm. Decapitation. The Black Thunder King was even more ruthless. He lifted up his axe and chopped down with all his strength. With a loud boom, the ground shook, and a mountain-like head was chopped off, flying away. His body spun as the axe in his hand tore apart the sky, leaving a black light arc, completely shattering the head of the Black Thunder King.
Dead.
Morong Qingqing said lightly. Yichen said, "Will there be any unforeseen events?" Morong Qingqing shook her head. Impossible. The demon beasts have low intelligence. Once they reach the life and death realm, they will only be able to master the first level of the undying body and the second level of the flesh growth art. Otherwise, when they are at their peak, they would definitely be everyone's nightmare. Yichen thought about it and agreed with her. The ancient demon king already had a huge advantage. If they mastered the flesh growth and blood growth, then the ancient humans would not be able to win. Crack. At this moment, the ancient demon king's chest suddenly split open, revealing a pitch-black hole with nothing inside. However, in the next moment, a large amount of mana gathered from the other parts of the ancient demon king's body. The mana gathered together, forming a black ball of mana light. Within the ball of light, there was a constantly flowing black light. This black light was 100 times more condensed than the most resplendent black diamond. It could practically blind people's eyes.
Shoo.
The black light shot out of the chest, covering thousands of miles in only a second before disappearing into Murong Qingqing's chest. Demon power essence. The three king warriors yelled out loud. The devil race had a special characteristic. After dying in battle, the devil power essence in their body would enter the body of another devil race. This devil power essence couldn't be used in a short period of time, but after a long time, it would gradually become that devil race's own devil power, increasing its cultivation. The three had never fought against demons before, so they had forgotten about it. The Beast King looked at Murong Qingqing with a murderous look and sneered, "Demons cannot exist. Then, she must be a demi-demon with the blood of the demons. Little girl, you have bad luck, since I am an anti-demi-demon. An ant-like being? Just kill her." The Shining King was not happy about the fact that the Black Thunder King had taken the extreme rank axe. He did not dare to go against him, so he decided to take it out on Murong Qingqing. She was a demi-demon, and he believed that no one would do anything to him. After all, he was not going to wipe out the entire demi-demon family. Waving his hand casually, a dark red light shot out from the Shining King's hand, covering Murong Qingqing's body within a second. Yichen did not even have the time to blink his eyes, not to mention helping out. Plus, since it was a king warrior attacking, he would not be able to stop it. Seeing that the light was about to devour Murong Qingqing, a mysterious door suddenly appeared behind Murong Qingqing. A beautiful figure walked out of it, reaching out a long jade-like palm to block out the attack of the dark red light. Chapter 482.
Pop.
As the dark red light disappeared, the figure's face appeared in front of everyone's eyes. It was a beautiful young lady who did not look older than 25 years old. Her hair was like a waterfall, reaching all the way to her feet. Her eyes were like stars in the sky, giving off a mysterious vibe. Besides that, there was nothing else that could be seen, and it seemed like it would be hard for anyone to remember her. Xianhou. In fact, this was the first time Yichen had seen Xianhou. As for that portrait of Xianhou, the face was blurry, as if it was covered in layers of fog. But, with only one glance, Yichen knew that it was Xianhou in front of him. More accurately, it was Xuanhou's mental image. The Shining King was shocked. He had not expected that the power behind Murong Qingqing would be Xianhou. Who Xianhou was? Perhaps everyone in this land knew about her. She had only reached the life and death realm for 20 years, but she already had the power to compete with top king warriors like the Dragon King and the Evil King. If she wanted to protect the demi-demon family, including Su King, all of the king warriors would have to think twice. After all, Xianhou still had a lot of potential, and no one could guess how far she could go in the end. Xianhou, the Shining King, and the other two held their fists together, looking a bit respectful. Xianhou looked at the dead body of the Demon King on the ground and nodded slightly. "You guys have done well. The birth of the Demon King has brought a lot of lives. I did not expect that after hundreds of thousands of years, the sealing power still has not worn out this Demon King's demon power. Demons are indeed a race that is above the human race. This is what we should do." The Black Thunder King did not have the aggressiveness he had before. In front of Xianhou, it was not that aggressive at all. "Give me some face. Don't make it hard for her." Xianhou is talking about Morong Qingqing. The Black Thunder King said without hesitation, since Xianhou has said so, then we will do it. He's just a junior. It doesn't matter if I kill him or not. The Beast King shrugged. The Shining King nodded quietly. Killing Morong Qingqing was something that could be done easily for him. If it was not something that could be done easily, and it was not necessary, then he would not bother to do it. Before, it was mostly because of his anger. If there's nothing else, Xianhou, I'll take my leave first. Since the Demon King was dead and the extreme rank axe was in his hands, the Black Thunder King did not care about anything else in the parallel space battlefield.
He cupped his fists and said, "Crack."
The space was shattered, and the Black Thunder King disappeared. We will also take our leave. The Shining King and the Beast King left one after the other. Waiting until the three of them disappeared from her sight, Xianhou turned around and looked at Morong Qingqing. You are a demi-devil, and you have the perfect demi-devil bloodline. Your future is bound to be full of disasters. The mysterious pearl I gave you has the effect of locating you 3 times. With the mysterious pearl, I can use its aura to cross the space and cast my will image. After 3 times, the one who will block the disaster for you will no longer be me. Thank you, Xianhou, for saving me. Qingqing will remember it. Morong Qingqing frowned. She believed that Xianhou was telling the truth, but she did not know what kind of disaster Xianhou was talking about. Xianhou chuckled. Back then, when I was able to reach the life and death realm, I had received too many favors. Therefore, I want to pay them back one by one. Your demi-devil family, I will try my best to protect you as well. But your family still has the bloodline of the demons, so there are too many hidden dangers. I have no way of knowing what will happen in the future, so I can only take it one step at a time. No matter what, I will remember Xianhou's favor. Morong Qingqing knew a little about the hidden dangers of the demi-devil family, and she also knew that those people did not mean to hurt the demi-devil family. Moving her eyes to Yichen, Xianhou said curiously, I cannot see through you. Yichen shivered, not knowing what Xianhou wanted to say. The last time the Hidden Dragon Ancient City opened, the Dragon King and I were both there. The others could more or less see some signs and potential, but only you, the Dragon King, and I could not see through. I think the Dragon King did not take you as his disciple because of this reason. Yichen said respectfully, Xianhou is too kind. No, I just cannot see through you. Your past is a piece of fog, and your future is also a piece of fog. Qingqing is with you, and her body is also stained with this kind of aura. Perhaps you can help her resist some of the dangers and use your sword to cut off her karma. Yichen said, Morong is my friend. When a friend is in trouble, I will naturally do my best to help her. Xianhou continued, you are one of the main characters of this era, and the people around you are not ordinary people. However, you have to be careful of the other main characters. In every era, there will only be one main character, and the others, in the end, will only be supporting characters. Between the main characters and the supporting characters, there will definitely be battles after battles, and in the process of battles, there will inevitably be deaths and injuries. This is something that no one can stop. My sword will not fear anything. Yi Chen's expression was indifferent. He didn't care about the main characters or supporting characters. What he cared about was the brilliance of life. Since the heavens wanted him to come to this world, he would use his own sword and fight until the end, until eternity. The process was what he enjoyed. That's why I can't see through you. Xianhou shook her head. Her Tao could reach the soul directly. Not to mention a small astral-reaching realm warrior. Even if it was a king warrior who had just reached the life and death realm, she would still be able to see through it. However, when it came to Yichen, there seemed to be a mysterious power that blocked her observation. She wanted to go around this mysterious power, but she realized that this mysterious power was boundless, and she had almost fallen into it. All right, this is done. We will meet again in the future. Also, this parallel space battlefield is about to collapse. You guys walk in that direction, and you will find the entrance that you came from. Xianhou pointed out a clear path for the two, then stepped into the illusionary door. The door closed, and disappeared into the surreal space.
Whew.
As soon as Xianhou left, Yichen let out a breath that he had been holding back. Xianhou did not have any hostility towards him, and she had even tried to hide her aura. But even though they were so close, Yichen still felt a kind of pressure. In front of this pressure, he could not even use his soul power, and the opponent was only a mental projection. Morong Qingcheng was not feeling good either. Anyone who got close to a king warrior would feel the pressure. Even their children would not be able to stay calm in front of a king warrior. This was not affected by anyone, as if it was the rule of the heavens. Even the king warriors could not do anything about it. Deep in the surreal space, 3 human figures were traveling. She is indeed Xianhou. It was only a mental projection, but she was able to take on an attack from the Shining King and bring us a bit of pressure. The Beast King said with admiration. The Shining King said, "I did not use all of my power. I know that you did not use all of your power. But if you did, then it would be Xuanhou's mental projection that would arrive. Are you sure you can handle Xuanhou's mental projection?" The Beast King said with a playful expression. The Shining King was speechless. Killing Morong Qingcheng was something that he could do easily. But seeing how Xuanhou's mental projection had been shattered so easily, it was not hard to imagine how powerful she was. Moreover, the mental projection was even more horrifying, as it was equivalent to 30% of Xuanhou's battling power. Plus, he suspected that Morong Qingcheng had the mysterious pearl that only Xianhou had. With the enhancement of the pearl, the mental projection would not lose any battling power just because of the distance. The Black Thunder King said lightly, "It is not impossible for us to reach Xuanhou's realm. The universe is so mysterious, and it is not something that one person can understand. As long as we have the chance, we can also become the top king warriors. Whether it is the sky or the land, the opportunities are everywhere." The Black Thunder King had always been prideful because he was also an amazing martial genius in his generation. Otherwise, he would not have been able to surpass the Shining King, who was twice his age, and reach his current realm when he was only 100 years old. Crack! Crack! The sound of something breaking was heard, catching the 3's attention. Not good. The breaking of the seal and the commotion caused by the battle are too huge. This parallel space that has existed for hundreds of thousands of years could not handle it anymore. It is about to collapse. The 3 did not have any other thoughts as they broke through the surreal space and entered the parallel space. All 3 of them had disciples in there, and some of them were even the future of their martial institutions. They could not just watch these people die in front of them. There was a space door in the sky, and behind it was a light membrane. It was the entrance, and also the exit. Yi Chun and Morong Qingcheng went through the light membrane and arrived at the tunnel. There were already slight cracks on the transparent tunnel, which meant that the parallel space was indeed about to collapse. The space storm created by the collapse of a parallel space would tear apart anyone below the life and death realm. Even normal life and death realm warriors would be badly wounded, or even killed. When they walked out of the tunnel, a part of the space door behind them had been broken. Skull-sized space pieces flew everywhere, and one of them shot toward Yi Chun. Break. It was not that Yi Chun had not seen the space power before, but this space piece was made of space power, so it was not much different from the real space power. Using his void-shattering finger art, the space piece exploded and disappeared. Landing on top of a mountain, the 2 lifted their heads and looked at the collapsing space door. Shoo!
Shoo!
Shoo! One figure after another flew out, unable to keep up with the situation. Soon, Jing Aoshuan, Li Xiaoyan, and Chu Zhongtian came out as well. Yi Chen could tell that the aura of the 3 had become more powerful. It seemed like they had gotten a lot of spirit stones just like him. More and more people flew out, covering the whole mountain. It was not until the Black Thunder King, the Shining King, and the Beast King came out that the space door suddenly exploded, turning into a space turbulence instead of a space piece. Some of the people who did not manage to get out in time were killed instantly, not even having the chance to scream. Let's seal up the gap together. The 3 looked serious. The space storm was not something to joke about. Once it rushed out through the gap, besides them, no one else would be able to survive. Moreover, their cultivation would be severely damaged as well, and it would take years or even decades for them to recover. Without using their profound sense martial arts, the three of them pushed their Zhenyuan with all of their power, forming a Zhenyuan shield to block up the space door.
Pap, pap, pap.
The space turbulence kept attacking the Zhenyuan shield, bringing up sparks of light. Gradually, the space turbulence became weaker and weaker, and the space crack disappeared as well. It was like a broken mirror being repaired without a single crack. Chapter 483. Let's go. In the parallel space battlefield, Yi Chun had gained a lot. His spirit body had also been condensed by half. Although his power had not increased directly, it had increased a lot. Sometimes, a powerful defense could turn the tide of a battle. However, he felt that the spirit power inside his body had not been fully consolidated yet, so he had to close up for a while.
Yeah.
Norong Qingcheng also needed to train, but she had gained a lot more than Yi Chen. The Thunder City was huge, and there were people selling houses every day. Of course, there were also people buying houses as well. Yi Chen and Norong Qingcheng were one of them, since the restaurants were too noisy and small. It was not a good place to train in. So, buying a house was not too much of a burden for them. Since the luxurious houses in the Thunder City were hard to come by, the two had to split up and buy a slightly smaller house each. Inside the secret room of the house, Yi Chen sat on a clean stone platform with his legs crossed. Outside the true spirit continent is an endless ocean, the zenith sky is a starry sky, and outside the zenith sky is an unknown dark universe. The whole world is way too big, and I am still very weak. I can't even control my own destiny. However, I have to take things one bite at a time, and I have to build my foundation bit by bit. If I don't have a good foundation, it will affect my future achievements. I hope that this plan will work. Once it succeeds, I will reach the life and death realm, and I will be able to stand at the top of the world and walk alone with my sword. His qi and blood were boiling, and Yi Chen's determination was unshakable.
Ho.
Letting out a heavy breath, Yi Chen entered the empty realm and slowly closed his eyes. 3 days later, Yi Chen woke up. Half spirit body is indeed half spirit body. Although my power did not increase that much, my physical defense has more than doubled. With my Zhenyuan activated, people below the Sea of Souls realm would have a hard time injuring me. But this does not include Jing Aoshuan and the rest, since they are at the astral reaching realm, and their battling power has already reached the Sea of Souls realm. Standing up, Yi Chen lifted up his hand to look at it. The skin on his forearm and palm was like jade and steel, with a faint red luster. Looking closely, one could see that the patterns on the skin had changed a little, as if it contained some kind of mystery.
Boom.
He threw out a punch, leaving a fist mark in the air. As the fist mark faded away, Yi Chen mumbled to himself, "My power has increased a little, but that explosive power is not the same as before. Is it because my nature has improved? Never mind, the spirit body has started, and it will slowly improve in the future. Next, it will be time to train the undying body." Ever since he obtained the cultivation method of the undying body, he had never stopped cultivating unless he had something to do. Unfortunately, the progress was extremely slow. Up until now, he had only managed to brand his heart and liver with a mental imprint and had not made any progress in the other parts. Spirit mark could not be left on the whole body. It would not last for long and would disappear in a short time. Yi Chen had a thought. Of course, the time was still short, and he didn't expect to succeed in one go. After all, with his current realm, it was still too early for him to cultivate the undying body. Humans have 5 viscera and 6 bowels. I have succeeded in the heart and liver. Time to move on to the next part. As the days passed, Yi Chen /S achievement in the undying body was getting higher and higher. On the 3rd day of a month, Yi Chen /S5 viscera were all branded with a mental mark, and it could last for more than a quarter of an hour. In other words, within a quarter of an hour, Yichen /S5 viscera would recover instantly if they were injured, unless the injury was too severe and exceeded the healing ability of the flesh healing.
Dong, dong, dong.
Knocking sounds came from outside the yard. Yichen woke up from his cultivation and said, "Only Jing Aoshuan, Li Xiaoyan, and the others know where I live. Is there something wrong?" Pushing open the door, Yichen came to the yard. With a wave of his hand, the bolt on the door opened automatically. Li Xiaoyan walked in with a smile. The moment he saw Yichen, he was slightly startled. After not seeing him for more than a month, Yichen seemed to have changed slightly. He did not know what this change meant, but it was inconceivable. When he came out from the parallel battlefield, Yichen had already improved once. That time, it was his Zhen Yuan that had become purer, and his cultivation method had probably increased by 1 level. Now, he had improved again. Smiling bitterly, Li Xiaoyan said, "Brother Yi, did I disturb you?" Yichen said, "I've been in seclusion for more than a month, and I want to relax a bit. I wonder why Brother Li is looking for me?" It /S like this. In the afternoon, there will be a large-scale auction in Thunder City. I saw that you have never gone out, so you don /T know about it. Hearing him, Yichen nodded. I indeed don /T know. Thank you for reminding me. In order to learn the gold mentality, it would be best to train a gold element top rank Earth Realm sword art first. Thunder City was known as the #1 city in the Thunder region and one of the top 10 cities in the true Spirit continent. There would definitely be top rank Earth Realm manuals in the auction. As for whether or not there would be a gold element top rank Earth Realm sword art manual, that would depend on luck. After talking about the business, Li Xiaoyan said emotionally, "I was afraid that you would not be able to stabilize the situation in the tea gathering after 2 years. But now it seems like it was unnecessary. You have improved twice in a month." I am afraid that in the next tea gathering, I will not be your opponent at all. After training the undying body, there would be an undying qi surrounding one's body. Although this qi had disappeared along with the mental imprint, Li Xiaoyan could still sense it. No wonder he thought that he had made some progress. Yichen thought that Yichen had made some progress. After chatting for a while, Li Xiaoyan said his goodbyes and left. The sun was high up in the sky, and it was noon. It was supposed to be tea time, but because of the auction, the Thunder City suddenly became crowded. Countless people rushed toward the auction house in the East District. Inside the luxurious VIP room, Yichen, Jing Aoshuan, and Li Xiaoyan were all there. Chu Zhongtian was not there, and Morom Qingcheng was still in closed-door training. The Thunder City is indeed one of the top 10 cities in the true Spirit continent. Sea of Souls realm warriors are everywhere. Even for Li Xiaoyan, it was his first time seeing so many Sea of Souls realm warriors. Jing Aoshuan said, "The Thunder City is indeed one of the top 10 cities, but the reason it could attract so many people is because the auction items are rare enough. Top-rank weapons, the remains of life and death realm warriors, jade letters with profound sense martial arts, they have all been auctioned more than once." Jade letters with profound sense martial arts? Yichen was a bit surprised. Jing Aoshuan nodded. Some people find profound sense martial arts that are not suitable for them, so they would usually seal it back into the jade letters and sell it in the auction. I see that Brother Yi does not have a profound sense sword art yet. Perhaps you can get it in the auction. Yichen forced a smile. With my spirit stone storage, even if there is a profound sense sword art, I am afraid I will not be able to get it. Profound sense martial arts were sky realm martial arts, so mid-rank spirit stones would not be enough to buy them. Only top-rank spirit stones would do. However, Yichen had quite a lot of mid-rank spirit stones, but he only had 50,000 top-rank spirit stones, and that was because he had killed a lot of Sea of Souls realm warriors. Jing Aoshuan said, "Brother, you should have a lot of mid-rank spirit stones, right?" "Yes, I have a lot of mid-rank spirit stones." In the past month, Yichen had counted the mid-rank spirit stones in his storage ring. There were more than 7 million of them, and most of them were from killing Sea of Souls realm warriors. Then you do not need to worry. The auction in the Thunder City allows you to exchange mid-rank spirit stones for top-rank spirit stones. The exchange rate is 1-to-1. Yichen said curiously, mid-rank spirit stones can be exchanged for top-rank spirit stones. Indeed. Although the purity of the spirit stones Yuan Qi is not as pure as top-rank spirit stones, for all the big martial institutions, mid-rank spirit stones are still indispensable. No one needs top-rank spirit stones right from the start, especially the rank 5 martial institutions, where there are countless disciples below the Sea of Souls realm. Having more mid-rank spirit stones would not be a bad thing. Plus, the total amount of Yuan Qi in top-rank spirit stones is 30 times that of mid-rank spirit stones. Even if it is a bit purer, it would be equivalent to 50 to 60 mid-rank spirit stones at most. So 100 mid-rank spirit stones for one top-rank spirit stone would not be a bad thing for either side. If that is the case, then perhaps I would have the right to compete. Sword artists were always rare, and Sea of Souls realm sword artists were even rarer. Moreover, Sea of Souls realm sword artists who were richer than Yi Chun were probably not that many left. As they were talking, the auction officially began. The auctioneer was not a normal person, but a Sea of Souls realm warrior. This was the first time Yi Chun had seen a Sea of Souls realm warrior acting as an auctioneer, and his evaluation of the Thunder City's auction had improved a lot. After a couple of rounds of auctions, the auction reached a small climax. The auction item was a full set of mid-rank defensive artifacts, including armor, helmet, arm guards, leg guards, and boots. It was almost enough to cover the entire body, which was rather unusual and rare. When there are a lot of mid-rank defensive artifacts, most of their defensive power will cancel each other out. But a full set of them would have about 80% of a normal top-rank defensive artifact. And a full set of mid-rank defensive artifacts would be even rarer than top-rank ones. It would be hard to come by. Yichen could not help but sigh. A full set of mid-rank defensive artifacts was a couple of times more valuable than a single mid-rank defensive artifact. The starting price was a shocking 200,000 mid-rank spirit stones, which was eventually bought by a Sea of Souls realm warrior for 35 mid-rank spirit stones. Yichen shook his head. There was still no top-rank Earth Realm sword art manuals up for auction. It seemed like it was going to be over soon. He wondered if there would be a low-rank Profound Sense sword art later on. The 56th auction item is a jade strip containing a Profound Sense martial art. The auctioneer with a bit of white hair scanned the crowd with a smile and said slowly, "What? Another Profound Sense martial art." Before this, there had already been 2 jade strips containing Profound Sense martial arts. I wonder what kind it is. Everyone started to discuss as they listened to the auctioneer's next words. Seeing that he had whetted everyone's appetite, the auctioneer said, "The Profound Sense martial art in this jade strip is a low-rank one. It is a sword art with a metal element. But I would like to remind you that although it is only a low-rank Profound Sense sword art, it is way too sharp. Warriors with low soul power should be careful, lest they get injured mentally and leave a hidden danger behind."
Sharp?
No wonder. Sword arts have always been known for their sharpness, and it also contains the metal Profound. With the two added together, its sharpness is not hard to imagine. Chapter 484.
Cough.
The auctioneer cleared his throat, calming the crowd down before yelling. This profound sword attack is called the Gold Resonant Radiance sword attack. The starting price is 25,000 top-rank spirit stones, and each increment must be no less than 1,000 top-rank spirit stones. The bidding begins now. 26,000, 27,000, 30,000, 35,000. In almost a blink of an eye, the price had shot up from 25,000 to 35,000. It should be known that these were upper-grade spirit stones, not mid-grade ones. Upper-grade spirit stones were extremely rare. Among the Sea of Soul realm warriors he had killed, the most he had was only 10,000, and the least was only a few thousand. A lot of Sea of Soul realm warriors did not even have enough upper-grade spirit stones for their own cultivation. Therefore, they could only explore and search for treasures, then sell them in auctions to earn a huge amount of upper-grade spirit stones. Yichen did not bid in the end like before. Instead, He raised up his hand and said, 40,000. The auctioneer glanced at Yi Chen's VIP room and said with a smile, 40,000 top-rank soul stones. Is there anyone else who wants to bid higher? 42,000. In another VIP room, a sword artist in gray robes raised up his hand to increase the price. All right, 42,000. Is there anyone else? 45,000. 46,000. Yi Chen's expression did not change at all. 50,000. As Yi Chen's voice was heard, most of the sword artists gave up on bidding. 50,000 top-rank spirit stones was not a small number. In fact, if one did not kill other Sea of Souls realm warriors, it would be impossible to gather 50,000 top-rank spirit stones. Killing a Sea of Souls realm warrior was not a game. If one was not careful, one might be killed instead, unless one was powerful enough and had an overwhelming advantage. Even so, it would still be hard to guarantee that the other person was not hiding their power or hiding their killing ace. Therefore, without 100% confidence, no one would try to kill someone and rob them. 52,000. The sword artist in gray robes was not scared by the price. 55,000. Yi Chen was not in urgent need of top-rank spirit stones right now, so he would not care even if he spent them all. The sword artist frowned. 58,000. 60,000. 60,000. The sword artist squinted his eyes, his expression dark as he stopped talking. 70,000. Just when everyone thought that Yi Chen had won, the price rose by another 10,000. The one who made the bid was not the gray-robed swordsman, but an old and sharp voice. Yi Chen raised his eyebrows. 80,000. 85,000. Yi Chen was about to continue raising the price when a voice rang out. Little guy, let's call it a day. Give me some face. It would be impossible for Yi Chen to give up on his gold resonant radiance sword attack, since the gold mentality was extremely important to him. The sooner he could train it to its limit, the sooner he would be able to carry out his training plan. Therefore, after hearing the voice, he said lightly, 90,000. Humph. This price had obviously exceeded the bottom line of the bidder. He could only snort coldly and give up bidding. 90,000 upper-grade spirit stones going once, 90,000 upper-grade spirit stones going twice, 90,000 upper-grade spirit stones going thrice.
Sold.
Congratulations to the friend in VIP room 48. The auctioneer hammered his hammer 3 times, carrying a satisfied smile on his face. Soon, a staff member of the auction house brought over the jade letter for the gold resonant radiance sword attack. Yi Chen paid him 5 million mid-grade spirit stones and 40,000 upper-grade spirit stones before taking the jade letter. Following that, the atmosphere in the auction house became more and more intense. Every single item was extremely rare, and there was no way to buy it. It was not until the sun had set that the auction finally reached its climax. Inside the secret room, the light was still on. Yi Chen let out a breath slowly as he held the jade letter in his palm and poured his genuine into it.
Woo.
A picture appeared in his mind. On a boundless plain, a sword artist with an indistinct face took out his long sword. The long sword shone with a bright gold light, which kept on vibrating. Within a blink of an eye, it seemed to have vibrated for thousands of times. Even the space seemed to have resonated with it, creating ripples like water. The sword artist waved the long sword in his hand, and a bottomless ravine appeared on the plain without a sound. All of the mud seemed to have evaporated, disappearing into thin air. High frequency and sharpness. This is like a super electric saw. Yi Chen could not help but feel a chill run down his spine. A normal person could cut through steel with an electric saw, but this gold resonant radiance sword attack was powered by the gold profound, which was way more powerful than an electric saw. Turning his body, the sword artist locked onto Yi Chen and threw out another sword attack. That endless gold light filled up Yi Chen's sight. Yi Chen felt a sharp pain in his eyes, as if his vision had been cut open. Tears started to flow out of his eyes, but he did not feel anything mentally. Gold resonant radiance sword attack. Low-rank profound sword attack, focusing on high frequency. As the information was reorganized, the training manual for the gold resonant radiance sword appeared in Yi Chen's mind. Just as he had expected, this sword attack that contained the gold mentality was indeed powerful. Once the sword attack was thrown out, the Zhenyuan and sword qi would vibrate continuously, which could easily cut through the defense of the same level. Once I trained the gold resonant radiance sword attack to a certain level, even if I reached the Sea of Souls realm, I would not have to worry about not having enough ace attacks anymore. In terms of sword attacks, Yi Chun had 3 ace attacks, which were the Sky Thunder Cut, the Reverse Sky Thunder Cut, and the Amaranthan Nature. Although the Sky Thunder Cut was only 20 to 30% of a profound martial art, Yi Chun had learned a lot from Jing Aoshuan. Once he infused the 9th movement of the Sky Cloud sword art into the Sky Thunder Cut, it would become a real low-rank profound sword attack. Of course, if he did not learn the Thunder Profound, then the Sky Thunder Cut would not be perfected, since profound sword attacks needed the profound to be used. The Reverse Sky Thunder Cut was the twin brother of the Sky Thunder Cut. The two had completely different personalities. One attacked forward, while the other attacked backward. One had to admit that the latter was a bit more powerful and full of killing intent. With a reverse sword attack, not only could it reflect the attack, it could also catch the opponent off guard. The most horrifying thing was that the Reverse Sky Thunder Cut would become more powerful as the Sky Thunder Cut got stronger. It would always be on top of the Sky Thunder Cut, but it could not be without the Sky Thunder Cut. Without the Sky Thunder Cut, the Reverse Sky Thunder Cut would lose the chance to improve and would never be able to move forward. As for the Amaranthan Nature, it was even more powerful than the Sky Thunder Cut and the Reverse Sky Thunder Cut combined. The Green Lotus sword art was a top-rank Earth Realm sword art, and the power of the last movement had shocked even Yi Chun. It was equivalent to a 50% profound martial art, which was also why he had spent a long time to learn the 9th movement. Right now, the Amaranthan Nature was definitely Yi Chun's ultimate ace attack, and it could not be changed. Besides the 3 top sword movements, Yi Chun's body also had a Lotus Heart Sword Qi, which was extremely fast and had a powerful penetrative power. Judging on its power, it would not be any weaker than the Amaranthan Nature. Of course, it was not as mysterious as the Amaranthan Nature. The Lotus Heart Sword Qi would recover once every half an hour, and it would be able to change the whole situation in a close combat. If he could learn the gold resonant radiance sword art as well, he would not need to learn too much. As long as he could learn it to 50%, Yi Chun's overall power would still continue to increase. When facing the enemy, he would have more choices to choose from and more chances to kill his opponent. It would be very meaningful. Yi Chun's yard was not that big in the Thunder City, but there were a lot of scenic spots inside. There were fake mountains, green water, pavilions, gardens, and even a bamboo forest. The bamboo forest was filled with a gentle breeze, and it looked very green. On the small path in the bamboo forest, Yi Chun stood there quietly with both of his hands holding the destruction sword. In front of him was a long spear that had been stabbed into the ground. The long spear was shining brightly, giving off the vibration of a mid-rank great weapon.
Whoa!
The blue light on the surface of the destruction sword vibrated as Yi Chun threw out a sword attack on the long spear. With a clanging sound, thousands of sparks shot out. If it were not for Yi Chun blocking it with his Zhenyuan aura, the whole bamboo forest would have been destroyed. Not good. This sword attack has only vibrated 240 times within a second, which is barely 10%. It would not be able to make a dent on the spear. Yi Chun shook his head. After training for almost 3 days, his gold resonant radiance sword art had made some progress, but it was still far from the requirement. His short-term goal would be 30%, or even 40%. Yeah, the metal is vibrating. Inadvertently, Yi Chun realized that although the long spear had stopped vibrating, it was still vibrating at a high frequency. Since the vibration was so small, it was hard to notice it with the naked eye.
Chin.
Yi Chun threw out another sword attack. The long spear vibrated quickly, but the vibration was getting smaller and smaller. Eventually, it turned into a vibration, and the air was groaning. The mentality of gold, vibration, particles, combination. Yes, it should be like this, the mentality of letting nature take its course. Before, I was too focused on it, and the improvement was too small. I did not have much comprehension either. The hardest part of training a martial art was to find the right way. If the way was right, then the training would be much easier. But if the way was wrong, then it would be a waste of time and effort.
Chin, chin, chin.
Finding the right way, Yi Chen's mind was filled with more and more ideas. He continued to wave his destruction sword, attacking the long spear at a high frequency. 5 days, 10 days, half a month, 1 month. Yi Chen had spent a whole month training his gold resonant radiance sword art. His comprehension was like a flood that could not be stopped. Meanwhile, more and more cracks appeared on the long spear, and the broken parts were getting sharper and sharper. Although the metal is a solid, the tiny particles inside are actually moving as well. The vibration can make the metal even more sturdy and more aggressive. However, I have to control it well. Otherwise, the metal will break down, and the power of the gold resonant radiance sword art will not be able to be used. No matter if it is the metal or the gold mentality, it is the same principle. Yi Chen fell into a strange state. He seemed to be able to feel the life of the destruction sword in his hand, as well as its joy. In this kind of state, the training of the gold mentality came naturally. It was much easier than when he was training the thunder mentality or the wood mentality. Perhaps he should have trained the gold mentality earlier, since it was a perfect match for him.
Who?
The destruction sword in his hand started to vibrate, and the Zhenyuan that had been poured into it started to vibrate as well. The sword light that was being spat out was extremely horrifying, as if it could cut through space itself. Without opening his eyes, Yi Chen took a step forward and waved out a sword attack.
Crack.
The mid-rank long spear was cut in half. The cut was as smooth as a mirror, and the edge was sharp enough to cut through steel. However, Yi Chen did not even feel the slightest bit of hindrance when he waved out that sword attack. It was as if he had not cut through a mid-rank long spear, but a piece of wood. Chapter 485. It is indeed the gold resonant radiance sword art. I have only mastered 40% of it, but its power is already at the same level as the amaranthan nature sword art. One sword attack is enough to break a mid-rank great weapon. Yi Chen opened his eyes and sighed. The amaranthan nature sword art was very similar to the gold resonant radiance sword art in a certain way. For example, the power would be stacked layer by layer, making it more powerful. However, the difference was that the frequency of the amaranthan nature sword art would be slower and longer, while the gold resonant radiance sword art would vibrate multiple times within a short period of time before exploding out instantly. There was no advantage or disadvantage between the two, but judging on the attributes, the gold resonant radiance sword art was powered by the gold profound after all.
Chin.
Putting the destruction sword back into its scabbard, Yi Chen picked up the broken mid-rank spear and threw it into a storage ring. Speaking of which, he had already destroyed quite a lot of mid-rank weapons, all of which were damaged by his training. It was not that these mid-rank weapons were useless, but that he had not poured his Zhenyuan into them. If he had poured his Zhenyuan into them, he might not have been able to leave a dent on them, not to mention breaking them with one sword strike. I have trained my gold resonant radiance sword art to 40%, and my undying body has also trained all my internal organs. It is time to leave. Unknowingly, Yi Chen had already stayed in the Thunder City for more than 2 months. All of the young warriors who had come for the martial tea gathering had already left in the first month, including the people from the South Ridra region. Li Xiaoyan and Chu Zhongtian had left in the second month, while Murom Qingcheng had left a week ago as well. She wanted to go back to her family and go into a closed-door training to train all of the demon power essence in her body. On the contrary, he had stayed until now. Master Rain, he has left? In a restaurant that was closest to the West City Gate, 2 mysterious people were sitting by the window. The one who was talking was a middle-aged man in colorful robes, who was the 5-poison ghost warrior. Master Rain nodded. As long as I want to, all of the water yuan qi within hundreds of miles will be my eyes. He will not be able to escape from my tracking. That's good. The five poison ghost general trusted Elder Rain's abilities and knew that he would not lie. However, he revealed his extraordinary power in the martial tea gathering. I'm afraid that with just the two of us, we might not be able to keep him here. You also know that he is not an ordinary astral reaching expert. The five poison ghost warrior chuckled coldly. Of course I know that. I've already made full preparations. This time, he'll absolutely be unable to escape my grasp. Elder Rain raised his teacup and took a sip. Five poison, I've already wasted a few months on you. It's time you tell me what secrets that kid has. Five poison ghost warrior laughed. Elder Rain, I can't tell you now, but I can guarantee that I will give you all the benefits. No, you will get the same amount as me. After all, we will have many chances to work together in the future. This is our chance. All right, I hope you won't disappoint me. Elder Rain knew the five poison ghost general's personality very well. He knew that he would not do anything until he saw an opportunity. Since he was so obsessed with dealing with Yi Chun, then he must have his own reasons. All he needed to do was to be prepared to accept the benefits. As for whether there would be a trap or not, Elder Rain was not worried at all. After all, he was an elder of the Nine Ghost cult. After drinking half of the tea, the two left. The sea of clouds was surging, gathering and dispersing randomly. A huge flying puppet was flying through the air, its speed reaching 5 times the speed of sound. Because of its extreme speed, all of the clouds in its way were shattered, forming a straight path. On the back of the flying puppet sat a young man in blue robes. It was indeed Yi Chun, who had just left the Thunder City. Using the flying puppet, one does not need to rest at all. Their stamina and spirit are always at their peak. I have to say, this is indeed a great invention. The flying puppet's battling power was not bad. If it was filled with top-rank spirit stones, it could even compete with extreme astral-reaching realm warriors. There were also 2 top-rank puppet cannons hidden inside. The power of one cannon was enough to flatten a town. Of course, the consumption of one cannon was huge as well, about 50 pieces of top-rank spirit stones worth of yuan qi. Even so, the biggest use of the flying puppet was not for battle but for traveling. A real top-rank battle puppet would be able to compete with normal Sea of Soul realm warriors. As for the flying puppet, it was made purely for the enjoyment of traveling. Just think about it. With a flying puppet, one could sit on it and fly for months. If it were an astral-reaching realm warrior or a Sea of Soul realm warrior, who would be able to fly for months. Even if they did not die of exhaustion, they would die of suffocation. 200 li behind Yi Chun, the 5 poison ghost general and Elder Rain were following behind him. 5 poison ghost general had a bad look on his face. Bastard. Where did this brat get a flying puppet? It seems to be at least a top mid-rank flying puppet. Yi Chun had installed a mid-rank spirit stone inside the leopard-shaped flying puppet, which allowed its speed to reach 5 times the speed of sound. Therefore, 5 poison ghost general had misunderstood, thinking that it was a mid-rank flying puppet. The better the things he has, the better our harvest will be. This time, we cannot let him get away. Elder Rain's face was not looking good either. No matter who it was who flew for a whole week in the sky without rest, covering 500,000 li of distance, they would not be in a good mood. Sucking in a deep breath, 5 poison ghost general turned his head and said, "We have already left the Thunder region and appeared in the Mountain region. I wonder when this brat will go down to rest." Elder Rain was just about to say something when he suddenly raised his eyebrows. He went down. Bluestone Town was one of the thousands of towns in the mountain region. Because it was close to the Hunter Mountain range, there were quite a lot of warriors coming and going. Putting away the flying puppet, Yi Chun jumped down. "Guest, please come in. Master Wang, you have not been here for a long time. Please have a seat in the room upstairs. I will serve you right away." At the entrance of the restaurant in the middle of the town, a waiter had a towel on his shoulder as he greeted the customers passionately. This huge restaurant seemed to be very busy. Although the busy waiter was very tired, he was actually very happy. This Bluestone restaurant was not a normal restaurant, and its business was very good. As a waiter here, his salary would be a couple of times higher than the other restaurants. In just a couple of years, he would be able to accumulate a huge amount of wealth, which would be enough to buy his 5-year-old son a normal martial art manual, which would allow him to become a warrior in the future. Wiping his sweat, the waiter looked around and realized that another group of people were walking over. This group of people was very strange. They were all wearing bamboo hats in the middle of summer, and there was even a black gauze on the edge of the hat, which prevented people from seeing their faces. Guests, the first floor is full, but there are still a couple of seats on the second floor. The waiter carefully served them. You do not need to follow us. We will go up by ourselves. One of them said coldly, Yes, yes, sir. Hearing that voice, the waiter could not help but shiver. What a terrifying voice. He felt like he was being stared at by the most ferocious beast. His hair stood straight up, and his body went numb. The group of people came to the second floor, glanced around the almost full hall, then walked towards the room on the side. What are you doing? This room is ours, get out. The middle-aged man, who is called Master Wang by the waiter, was very annoyed. He stared at the uninvited guests in front of him. A man in a bamboo hat walked out and slightly stomped his foot on the ground. This Master Wang was blown away while puking out blood and was stuck on the wall.
Piss off.
The cold voice made everyone in the room tremble. Master Wang was one of the few clasping Yuan realm martial artists in this town, but he was so weak. Master, please calm down. We will leave now, right now. After helping Lord Wang to his feet, everyone in the private room left. Let's sit down. The leading man waved his hand, and the chairs were arranged neatly. He then sat down in the main seat. Outside the restaurant, another customer arrived. Young warrior, please come in. There are seats on the second floor. It was the first time for the waiter to see such an outstanding young man, so he was very friendly. Yichen gave the waiter a piece of silver and said, Lead the way. All right. The waiter walked in front of Yi Chen with his back bent, leading him to the second floor. After finding a clean table and sitting down, Yi Chen ordered, Bring me a pot of your best wine and some side dishes. All right, I will bring it right away. The waiter hurried downstairs. Taking a sip of the tea on the table, Yi Chen looked around and found that there were quite a lot of martial artists in the restaurant, but most of them were at the condensing reality realm. All the clasping Yuan realm martial artists were in the rooms. The innermost room was blocked by soul power. Was it a sea of soul realm martial artist? Shaking his head, Yichen didn't care about it. Although Bluestone Town was relatively remote, it didn't mean that no sea of soul realm martial artists would come here. After flying for so long, he had to come down to rest and eat some good wine. Soon, the wine and dishes were served. Yichen buried his head in the food and started to eat. Although we destroyed the Wang clan this time, we didn't obtain many bloodline crystals. Moreover, we didn't find the two most outstanding descendants of the Wang clan. According to the clan's intelligence, these two have already awakened the six-headed snake bloodline. It will be troublesome to let them mature. The leader of the bamboo hat men said indifferently. The left man said, Sixth elder, it's only two six-headed snake bloodlines. Even if they grow up, they won't be able to shake our family. No, prevention is better than cure. This is the purpose of the family. Therefore, either we don't do it or we do it cleanly. Sixth elder is right. Sixth elder is right. The Wang clan used to be a king clan a long time ago. Although our clan has the strength of a king clan, it was only in the last 100 years. The Wang clan has fallen and become a commoner clan. But it's hard to say that they don't have the foundation to make a comeback. Especially since the bloodline crystals obtained by the Wang clan were much less than expected. I suspect that they are on those two descendants of the Wang clan. In the vast sea of people, finding a family is easy, but finding two people is too difficult. The leading man shook his head. No rush. This time, the mission was rushed, and the family didn't have time to send the Blue Eye Tracker. If nothing unexpected happens, the Blue Eye Tracker will arrive in 3 days. With their help, tracking down the people with the six-headed snake bloodline will be a piece of cake. The Blue Eye Tracker will also come. Everyone was slightly surprised. All of a sudden, the leader of the bamboo hat men frowned. What's wrong? A sixth elder? The other man asked. Not good. Someone wants to attack the restaurant.
Boom.
A giant toad condensed from the purple mist hit the restaurant. Purple mist escaped from the toad's body, and from far away, there were already people foaming at the mouth and collapsing on the ground. Meanwhile, the restaurant that came into contact with the toad melted like cheese, and the purple mist surged. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.